we already know this, but the evidence that I get to witness and participate in firsthand is a reaffirmation that God, family, country is still a guiding force for the American dream. And I meet with every imaginable ethnicity, color, race, creed, religion, lifestyle, socioeconomic strata, and they all believe in those fundamentals. Get up early, put your heart and soul into being the best that you can be a productive member of society while you demand good over evil, law and order, punishment of bad people and rewarding of good people. Literally
the opposite of what's actually going on in government right now.
The opposite of the America.
I mean, when I saw the Supreme Court, the state of Texas, which is being overrun, beyond, you have a sex trafficking crisis, a child sex trafficking crisis, a fentanyl crisis, but beyond that, a human, just a disaster, of epic proportions, people dying on the way, and Texas can't even defend its own borders, according to the Supreme Court, according to everyone in Washington, D.C., according to even the weak Republicans, and certainly the Democrats are welcoming because they need to change the voter base, because real Americans are actually starting to understand that God, family, country is not in fact controversial. It's actually the way we should live, and we'd all be better off for it.
It's the true north compass setting of good America everywhere. Even to this day, here we are, we could be spoiled and think that America is perfect because we're at this celebration of ballistics and hunting and conservation. But outside the SHOT Show and outside our campfires, outside our barbecues, outside our family gatherings, we are represented by the majority of people. It's the people with the megaphones, the government, all the bureaucracies are so untrustworthy. Big tech, just horrible, horrible, evil people. Hollywood, academia, those loudest voices have too much power, and they've mastered the abusing of that power. They don't represent the heart and soul of America. But if I may, and I may, worse than Democrats, it's hard to imagine, worse than liberalism, hard to imagine, worse than communism and Marxism, apathy. Conservatives who don't know their chief of police, their sheriff, their state trooper commander, their senator, their congressman, their mayor, their governor, they don't communicate. Everywhere I go, and I rock and roll and I hunt in 50 states, all those politicians work for me. And they all know what Ted Nugent stands for, because I've not been afraid to speak my core values over the years. And so I tend to align myself. I was just at the Pursuit Channel booth, and we had the longest line that they've ever experienced, because shit kickers connect with what you and I live. And so, but if you don't apply that at the voting booth, if you don't apply that at the school board, then you will lose. But if you apply it, you can win. We just did it in Louisiana.
Yeah, listen, I was there with Jeff Leonard. He's been on the show. He's a good friend. And not only did we win, we won before it even got to an election, because we won so overwhelmingly, because people got engaged. We have to do that not just for the president and congressmen and senators and governors. We need to start from the bottom up as well with the school boards and get involved, or you're going to end up with some rainbow-haired freak indoctrinating your children, poisoning them from day one, capturing them when they're most vulnerable to the nonsense. And then it takes years to get them back to normal. Sometimes they wake up and sometimes they never do, and that's a problem we face too.
We're in the scramble of damage control because we weren't responsible enough to demand quality control.
Correct.
And if I may just emphasize what you and I, we come from different lifestyles in some ways, but still that spirit of the wild, the conservation instinct has connected us. And that is a connecting link to every strata of the American society, and it's alive and well. But we created Hunter Nation. You can visit hunternation.org, and we've galvanized the most apathetic amongst us, which I'm embarrassed to say is the hunting
hunters.
families.
They had not gone out and voted. They didn't engage. It's not really for them. But that's what I see. The people who were agnostic, they sat on the sidelines. It's like, I don't trust you.
I'm not into politics, they say.
It's so flagrant now.
Sounds Cuban.
The attack on their lifestyle, the attack on their values, the attack on their families, quite literally.
And they watched it happen.
Now they can't sit back. If they sit back, they're literally, they're essentially voting for their own demise.
So I'm going to summarize it with the pulse of all those shit kickers that I hang with. Your dad. We need your dad back as the commander-in-chief.
I appreciate it, buddy.
He represents the best of the best. He was an outsider, and I think that is manifested in the fact that I have a big mouth, and people go, he's radical, he's extreme. Let me make it perfectly clear. This loudmouth, radical, extreme, constitutionalist guitar player is exactly what the Founding Fathers wanted all Americans to be. To question authority, to demand constitutional accountability. And any neighborhood where that's considered radical, I give you a suburb of San Francisco.
Yeah.
So take back America individually as families. Make sure your mayor, your governor, your senator, your chief of police, your sheriff, do they know you? Do they know that you support Kyle Rittenhouse, that self-defense is a natural, instinctive righteousness? If they don't know you believe in that, then it's going to be like Sergeant Dan Perry in Austin, who shoots a guy who attacked him with a rifle, and in Texas, he was charged with murder for stopping someone from killing him.
Or Daniel Penny in New York.
New York, he stopped evil.
Literally, every witness there said, we were fearing for our lives. He is a hero, and they're charging him with second-degree manslaughter. You can't win. So we got to get involved, and we'll have you on full time. And
I will.
You're still a leader, by the way, in the poll. There's hundreds of thousands of people that watch. They want Press Secretary Ted Nugent. Okay, so Shemin, you may be moving to D.C. just so we understand. Okay, so enjoy your hunting season. You got to do 4 years in D.C.
Yeah, she'll cover for me. Well, I didn't invent the middle finger, but I have perfected it.
You have perfected it.
My middle finger is sighted in 2 inches high at 200 yards, so I've got to cover.
Good range.
Yes, thank
Good to see you, brother.